Lumaban kahit hindi pinaglaban.
For today's video, we're going to share to you a, yes, educational vlog. And for the discussion of educational vlog will be the Proclamation of Independence.
Ano pang hinihintay nyo?
Let's
Let's
learn
learn
na!
na! So you heard it right kanina. So let's take a look, listen as we learn the discussion of Independence Proclamation.
Hi mga ka-learners! In my video, I will discuss who is Emilia Aguinaldo. O sino nga ba si Emilia Aguinaldo? Emilia Aguinaldo, a family also known as Emilia Aguinaldo, was born into a local light of Cavite on the Philippine island of Luzon. His father was mayor of Kawit, Old Cavite, and at the time of his father's death in 1878, a position that Aguinaldo himself held in 1895. The same year, Aguinaldo joined the secret and nationalist brotherhood Katipunan, which was founded by Andres Bonifacio. After the Philippines rebelled against the Spanish in 1896, Aguinaldo scored several victories in the province of Cavite. When Bonifacio came out of his hiding place in March 1897 and tried to reassert his leadership in Katipunan, Aguinaldo ordered his arrest, imprisonment, and eventual execution on May 10, 1897. Katipunan troops withdrew to a mountain before a Spanish attack. He finally reached an agreement with the Spanish and agreed to go into exile to Hong Kong in exchange of for 400,000 pesos. Shortly after arriving there, Aguinaldo bought the weapons his troops would need to continue the fight. After the United States declared war on Spain, Aguinaldo saw the possibility of the Philippines achieving independence. Instead, the United States expected Aguinaldo to lead his troops to his efforts against Spain. He returned to Manila on May 19, 1898 and declared independence for the Philippines on June 12. When it became clear that the United States had no interest in liberating the islands, Aguinaldo's troops remained separate from American troops. On January 1, 1899, Aguinaldo was named President of the Republic of the Philippines after meetings of the Constitutional Convention. Unsurprisingly, the United States refused to recognize Aguinaldo's authority and, on February 4, 1899, declared war on U.S. forces in the islands. After his capture on March 23, 1901, Aguinaldo agreed to pledge allegiance to the United States and then left public life. His dream of Philippine independence came true on July 4, 1946. He died in Manila in 1964. And that's all. Bye.
Hi there! I am Jilan J. Lagos and I will be reporting of how did Emilio Aguinaldo end up as the leader of the revolution. When the independence from Spain is in 1895, Aguinaldo took up with a secret society of revolutionary headed by fellow lounge member Andres Bonifacio. When enemy executed Bonifacio in 1897, Aguinaldo assumed total leadership of revolution against Spain. By December 1897, Aguinaldo had managed to reach the truce of the Acna Bato with Spain. He and his rebels agreed to a surrendering of arms and accept exile to Hong Kong in exchange for forgiveness, protection, and rebel reform. However, the rebel did not truly surrender arms. In fact, Aguinaldo's revolutionaries used some of financial repensation of Spain to purchase additional arms for the resistance. Aguinaldo also arranged to assist Americans to fight against Spain in Spanish-American War. In 1898, Aguinaldo returns to the Philippines to reassume his rebellion against the Spanish rule. Aguinaldo also made an arrangement to assist the Americans to fight against Spain in the Spain-American War. In 1898, Aguinaldo returns to the Philippines to reassume his rebellion against the Spanish rule. Back in Cavite, where Aguinaldo lived, he forcibly set up with a provisional dictatorship. After meeting with the Malolos Congress and drafting a constitution for a new republic on June 12, 1898, and declared Philippine independence that happened also in Cavite. And on January 1, 1899, Aguinaldo was sworn in as the first president of the Republic of the Philippines. So there is also a Philippine-American War when United States was not eager to accept the Philippines' new government. Just 2 weeks after the Aguinaldo's institution, the American Guard killed a Philippine soldier located at the San Juan's Bridge in a gesture of resistance against the newfound Philippines independence. On the February 4, 1899, the Philippine-American War exploded into action, and this results as the one of the bloodiest war in the Americans' history. After 3 years at war, Aguinaldo was captured by American General Frederick von Stone on March 23, 1901. And then, after swearing an oath of alliance to the United States on April 1991, is Aguinaldo officially declared peace with the United States. By this time, United States was ready to support limited Philippine independence. Until the year of 1946, the Philippines has absolutely control on its own government, and Aguinaldo retreated to a private life as a farmer but never forget the men who fought along with him. In their honor, he would later establish the Veteran of Revolution, and it is a organization that arranged their pension as well as the affordable payment plan for land purchases. Then later on, Aguinaldo took another swap of politics when he runs for presidency in 1935 against Manuel L. Quezon, but he eventually lose. However, in 1950, he became a presidential advisor on the Council of State. So that's all for how Aguinaldo ended up as a leader of revolution. Bye!
According to the declaration, how the Spanish colonization began. So the Spanish colonization began when the arrival of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi's expedition on February 13, 1965 from Mexico. He established friendship with a native chiefs, and he also established the first permanent settlement in Cebu to convert the people to Catholicism. Moreover, the colony was taken over by Spain, and the loss of Spain in the Spain-American War in 1898 brought the end of Spanish rule.
Who are the inspirations of Philippine Revolution? There are three inspirations of the Philippine Revolution, and these are Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, and Emilio Aguinaldo. Jose Rizal is the founder of La Liga Filipina. He inspires his followers through his literary works, the El Filibusterismo and No Limitang Here. This also includes Andres Bonifacio, who is one of the person who inspires through his literary works. Andres Bonifacio is the second inspiration of the revolution. He founded the Katipunan and emerged as the supreme. The Katipunan inspired many Filipinos and groups to launch a nationwide campaign to overthrow the colonizers. And lastly, the third, Emilio Aguinaldo. He does not only survive to become the first president of the Philippines, but also live on until his mid-90s. He led a revolutionary movement against the Spanish colonial government in the Philippines, and he declared the Philippine independence in 1898. And that's all. Thank you.
So, hi guys, this is the last topic. It is about the considering the American and Japanese occupations and the current state of the Philippines. How important is the Declaration of Independence in 1898? So, imagine those hardships that they had during the colonization, the hardships that our country had experienced we really deserve to celebrate the freedom that we achieved, especially that we had been colonized for 333 years by the Spaniards. And even after the Declaration of Independence in 1898, we had still been colonized by other countries. But despite those struggles, the Declaration of Independence gives us courage and inspired other people to fight the right that we have, to fight the right that we have for our country, and also it gives hope for other people, especially for Filipinos, that we can still manage and rule our country without being abused and being used by other countries. The Declaration of Independence in 1898 helps us to remember those people who sacrificed their lives and stand firm to free our country from other people, and also their dedication to achieve the freedom that they want during that time. That's how important the Declaration of Independence in 1898, those heroic acts that they act, should be remembered and appreciated generations by generations.
To sum up all, each and everyone has a right to freely live. We innocent people who desire to experience how beautiful life is without any barriers and limitation in all we do. We don't deserve to be treated like a slave, yet we deserve to explore and see what else we can do to have a better living ahead. So that's the end of our discussion. Hope you learned something from this video. Until our next vlog, stay safe and healthy. Peace out.